Hello everyone, this is the video of Legal Studies, Class 12, Unit 2nd, and the topic is Law of Contract. And under the Law of Contract, today I will be discussing the concept of lawful object. That is one of the principles of contract. So let's check it out. What is the meaning of lawful object? It means any object, item that is permitted under the law of land to do the business, that is lawful object. So let's check out the technical meaning of lawful object. As per section 23 of Indian Contract Act, the consideration or object of an agreement is lawful unless it is forbidden by law. If law doesn't prohibit or restrain, stop, then it is lawful. It is of such a nature that if permitted, it would defeat the provision of any law. Means the item that you are going to trade with of such in nature that if it is allowed to do so, then it will defeat the nature of the law. Though object or item that you want to trade, it is not unlawful directly. But if certain provisions even indirectly related to that or prohibit the trading of that item, that is unlawful. Next one is, it is fraudulent. Fraudulent means the kind of item that is not having the genuinity or authenticity. Next one is, involves or implies injury to the person or property of another. So if it is such in nature that injures other person or others' property, even then it is unlawful. Next one is, the court regards it as immoral or opposed to public policy. So if there are certain acts which is not directly illegal but immoral, so even those trades are not allowed, and hence you cannot make the valid contract based on those items, trades, etc. So these are the some of the meanings, explanation of lawful object. Okay, now check out what are the examples of public policy. As we have discussed in the last point, that is the court regards it as immoral or opposed to public policy. Immoral you can appreciate. Now let's check it out. What is meaning of public policy? Public policy means trading with enemy. Though your item that you are trading with is lawful, but the person with whom you are trading, he is unlawful. In the sense, he is an enemy. Okay, so that is meaning of trading with enemy. The next one is a stifling prosecution. It is interesting point. You need to understand it. Let's take an example to understand this point. What does it mean that suppose someone did some or committed some crime, and after that he traded with someone that if you do not prosecute me, I will pay you this much amount. And you know that if someone committed the crime, he is liable for that and he will be punished as per the law. So he cannot make such contract with any person, with even judge. If even a judge involved in this, so judge is doing some illegal kind of work because it is not allowed. So that is meaning of a stifling prosecution. Next one is interference with the courts of justice. By any means, if in the court of justice someone tries to influence through threat, through bribe, so that is again not allowed, and that is covered under the public policy. Next one is marriage brokerage contracts. So whatever you see, the marriage brokers and the websites and all, they are legally not allowed to make a contract. Okay, so if someone doesn't pay to the broker regarding the marriage and all, whatever the commitment done, then he cannot approach the court to enforce that agreement, because that is not legal. Okay, the last one is trade ethics. It is another interesting point that you need to understand, and you more often come across with such kind of thing. So if you understand this point, you can avail your right adequately. So try to understand what is meaning of trade ethics. Let's understand it with an example. Suppose you bought a TV from a shopping mall and you didn't pay attention on the terms and conditions that is mentioned at the back of the receipt that you received against the TV. Okay, so after a few days, say after merely 2 days, you find some defect and the TV is not working. So you went to that shopkeeper and asked to either change that TV or return back the money. But shopkeeper refused to change the TV and he said that as per our terms and conditions, I am liable to pay you only 50% of the price of this TV, as you can check it out at the back of the receipt that I gave you. So this is against the trade ethics. The shopkeeper cannot do like this, and once you file this suit against that shopkeeper, he needs to pay the full money, not the half. Okay, so those types of terms and conditions which are basically against the ethics are not permitted by the law. Okay, so that is trade ethics, that is against the public policy. Now the last point of this topic, that is void agreement. Section 24 states that if any part of a single consideration for one or more objects, or any one or any part of any one of several considerations for a single object is unlawful, the agreement is void. Well, of course, I understand the language is pretty complex, but you don't go into the language. Rather understand it that suppose you are making an agreement and maybe it is for the certain items, okay, and consideration different, means if items are different, so there are different considerations. Say out of 5 items, one is illegal, unlawful. Remember, we have something like lawful object, only then we can make the valid contract. So out of 5 or 7 or 10, if even a single consideration is unlawful, then the whole agreement will be void under the section 24. So that is void agreement. So you have to deal with all the lawful object, all the principles of the contract that need to be fulfilled adequately, only then your contract will be valid, or else it is void. So this is all for the lawful object, and I believe you must understood the concept of lawful object, and watch it again to understand the concept clearly. See you in next video.